40. Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Ahman Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leading rusher, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out over at packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Also, find this in podcast form wherever you get your podcast. Just search Packers Total Access or Packer Fan Total Access. We're on Spotify. We are on iHeartRadio. We are on iTunes. We are on everything in between. Podcast Republic. All the major platforms. So wherever you get your podcast, make sure you run us down and give us a follow there as well. It is February 27th. The Combine is heating up. The linebackers ran yesterday. I know we're going to have DBs and tight ends today. By the way, your boy Tanner Koziel evidently met with the Packers, so they're on he's on their radar a little bit, I believe. Now, listen, he's not going to be your Tucker Kraft type of tight end. It's going to be more of a receiving threat tight end. Think Luke Musgrave more in that regard. But we'll dive into all that. We got the linebacker combine numbers we're going to hit. Who really stood out in terms of the 40 time? The 10-yard split, the vertical jump, the explosion grade, all that. We're going to dive into it in rapid fashion. We're also going to take a look at the top RAS cards as it sits right now. Most of them are incomplete still, unofficial times. We're going to show you who has really stood out in terms of RAS score, relative athletic score. And if we have time, we're going to dive into the Caleb Proctor scouting report, which I was doing a little research earlier today on him, Emilio. His high school scouting report, or lack thereof, is very, very interesting. Evidently, he was not graded a single star coming out of high school. And bang, here he is at the Combine making waves. I'm going to be rooting for this guy. I'm going to be watching him the entire time. Hopefully, he can get drafted, whether it be mid to late round, wherever. And then who knows? Maybe we look up here in a few years and he's the next great undrafted free agent or late round pick, right? But it's a fun time of the year, man.
No, absolutely. Like you said, it was fun to top off, keep watching it, and just kept adding details and information into the board. It's coming together, but I'm excited for it. Like we said, we got a couple guys that we need to take a peek at today, being DBs, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that little picture you had there, though, Clay, of Goody with the binoculars over there scouting our boy Halton. You know what I mean?
Hilarious. Yeah. So Emilio shot that over to me last night, and then I immediately went to Twitter and I seen the picture everywhere, and I was like, did they steal Emilio's picture? And then I think it was I don't know who got it out first, but I found it from Emilio and I tweeted it out, and then I found out that
I did see that right after. I was like, dang, somebody else else right after. But I'm pretty sure that happened at like the beginning of the day. So it must have been everybody was rewatching the reruns there and then saw him out there.
Yeah, definitely. It's funny how social media is, because if you're not the original person to do it, and I didn't see anybody do it with this specific one, but I've tweeted stuff out before that someone had sent me on Facebook, right? And I posted on X, and then somebody will tag me and go, hey, you stole that from me. And I'm like, what do you mean I stole it from you? I go over to their X account. I'm like, okay, they posted it too. But I got this from Facebook. Like, what are you talking about? It's amazing how people think they have the rights to stuff, but it's a weird world. 2026, man. Gotta love it. So, let's do this, man. Let's jump into the Stackbackers and talk about who were the top performers of the day. I'm excited about this because I think I don't even think it's a sneaky need anymore, Amelia. I don't know how you feel about it, but the fact that Quay Walker, I think it's more likely than not that he's going to play for another team next year. I don't, to me, it's looking like he's not going to be with the Packers. So who are going to be your starting Stackbackers? And we're going to be in the nickel the majority of the time. So obviously Edgerrin Cooper. Is it going to be Isaiah McDuffie with him playing the mic? Is it going to be Tyron Hopper, your former third-round pick, taking a step and maybe taking on that role? I think it's safe to say, as the roster sits right now, your Stackbackers in your base 4-3, or if you go to a 34, that changes now, which some people were thinking that Jonathan Gannon's, it's a slam dunk. He's going to go to a 34. He's going to be a 34 defense, but he actually played in a 4-3 in Philadelphia. Like I say, played. He was the defensive coordinator of a 4-3 defense in Philadelphia. So it is a hybrid multi-front. Regardless, you're going to need two stack backers out there at nickel. If you do go to some kind of hybrid 4-3 look, whether it's a 4-3 under or an over with the Sam on the line of scrimmage, if you go that route, I think your three stack backers as it sits right now, obviously, it's going to be Edgerrin Cooper. It's going to be Isaiah McDuffie, and it's going to be Tyron Hopper. Right. So I think you need a linebacker, man. If Quay does not return, I think you need a stack backer, man. I really do. And so now listen, is Sonny Styles going to be there for us? No chance. No way. This guy, he's probably going to be a top 5 pick is kind of what I'm looking at right now. But we're going to go through the 40 times. But as we do, what do you think about the stack backer position for the Packers as it sits right now here on February 27th, man?
Yeah, that's going to be a choice there with Quay. Like you said, probably on his way out. And the way Goody was saying that they need to have competition there at the linebacker position itself just screams, okay, free agency or draft, and potentially both, right? Where you go ahead and get another floor guy from free agency, and then you go take a traits guy or something like that from the draft, and you just go ahead and you move on with it. Because if you're not paying that for 10, 12, 14 million, whatever Quay's going to get, but again, who's going to wear the dot? All those things are up to question. I would, assume it's probably going to be Coop. Shoot, it could be X, and you could still let Coop play free without having to worry about the dot. But yeah, right now, I would say you're probably taking a backer, and the way Goody's done it before, we've taken a first rounder, we've taken a third rounder. I would say it's probably going to be third to fifth that you're taking a backer if you want somebody that's still going to at least try to play. But I hope Hopper steps up too and gets some runs this year.
There's a handful of players too that I would be okay with them going stack backer at 52 if it means you get a starter, right? Like, hey, this guy day one is going to start alongside Edgerrin Cooper, and he's going to be a difference maker. You think of people like Jacob Rodriguez. Obviously, if somehow, some way, Sonny Styles was to fall, my God, it's just unrealistic, right? Anthony Hill Jr. is a very interesting one too, kind of around that range as well. By the way, fun little nugget. I ripped a hobby box of Bowman U's the other day, right? 2025, got an autographed Anthony Hill rookie card. Really, really cool there. So I'll be pulling for him off to the side, no doubt. Kyle Lewis is another one that kind of popped up to people. There's just several players in this draft here at the linebacker position that are interesting. Let's go through the 40 times here. So we got Sonny Styles with a 4.46 leading the way. Caleb Elarms-Orr with a 4.47. Anthony Hill Jr. with a 4.51. Kyle Lewis, 4.53. Nnamdi Abiazor, maybe 4.53. You've got Carson Scherer with a 4.56. Justin Jefferson, not that Justin Jefferson, Alabama linebacker Justin Jefferson, 4.57. Jack Kelly out of BYU, 4.57. And then you've got Jacob Rodriguez, 4.57. Not a bad 40. He's toward the bottom of the list here, but that's a solid 40 time for a stack backer. I kind of feel like anything less than 4.6 you feel pretty good about. And even at 4.6, there's been good linebackers that have ran 4.6s before.
Yeah, what was Kyle Hamilton ran a 4.6 or something like that, 4.63?
I can't remember. And
you saw that picture though, where Sonny outran Kyle and DK Metcalf.
Yeah, right. It's crazy. Jake Golday, 4.62, so he kind of hurt his stock a little bit in that regard. Not crazy though. Owen Heineke out of Oklahoma, 4.62, and Xavier Sori Jr. out of Arkansas, 4.63. So when you look at the 40-yard dashes, Sonny Styles checks the box. Anthony Hill Jr. checked the box. I feel good about where Jacob Rodriguez is. You wish it would have been higher, but again, he's an instincts guy. And this is the perfect example. If you had two linebackers that had the same exact grade, and you're a GM that you just absolutely drool over, you love the measurables, you love the 40-yard dash, you love all this stuff, right? Let's say you had a Jacob Rodriguez sitting there and you had a Carson Scherer, right? Well, if they were in the same tier, you would take Carson Scherer over Jacob Rodriguez because of the 40 time, but yet you look at the instincts on Jacob Rodriguez, I would much rather have the guy who plays more instinctively than the guy who's a blazer. And I know there's a little bit of ego there with general managers and coaches that they go, oh, he's got the tools, I'll coach him up, right? That's just not the case sometimes. To me, I feel like we're describing Quay Walker right now. Quay Walker was a physical freak. He lacks some of the instincts. He doesn't have that he doesn't gain that half a step with his mind the way like the greats like, you know, Ray Lewis did and some of these other guys, right? Where like they knew the play, the second Luke Kuechly, high football IQ, right? Those type of guys. So I don't know if that makes sense, but how do you feel about that? Because I'm always going to lean towards I want the instincts. I want the tape guy over the physical freak. That's just me personally.
Yeah, most of the time when you get somebody that has those kind of instincts, Clay, they're already kind of predetermining it. They get that jump, they get that little, like you said, half step ahead of time. While the play is going, they're already trying to guess it. You're already seeing, hey, the guard's only 2 fingers are down, not 3. He's a little bit more on his heels. I see him pulling. You know, maybe we got a screen left, and you just read it out, call it out before the play even happens. Like that's the kind of guy that we're looking for. But everybody that ran a 40, just because it wasn't a lot of the linebackers, I think everybody that ran gave themselves a shot. You know, nobody was 4.7, nobody was 4.8. Everybody was, 4.4 to 4.6. That's pretty good for a backer. And all of them were confident enough that they were going to make that run out of the huge list of linebackers that were there. That's not terrible.
Yeah. And the instincts truly matter, guys. Like if you find yourself in a situation, I'm going to try to paint a little bit of picture here, because you can talk about this both offensively and defensively. Like we talked about Matthew Golden and how he kind of got off to a slow start because obviously he didn't understand the playbook completely, didn't understand the choice routes completely. There was a little bit of a hiccup there in his game, and that's why maybe he didn't get utilized as much as we would have liked to have seen his rookie campaign. But those choice route aspects, like let's say you've got a 2-by set, right? Let's say you've got just a dub set.
Yep.
2x2, and let's say you go sidecar right, and let's say the concept that you want to run is like a wrap concept with a choice route involved. What I mean by that is the one outside is going to run a dig, okay, mm-hmm. and the 2 is going to run a curl. So it's basically you curl, the dig wraps around it, and then let's say you run a shoot route, a swing, or a flat with the running back, okay. Well, as that stack backer in the middle of that defense, if you're sitting there, and let's say you don't have a DB directly lined up over that number 2. Let's say it could even be a tight end, right? Well, you might have with that wrap concept, there might be like a slurl choice in there as well. Meaning, all right, if you go out there and you run a slurl route, which is a slant to a curl, okay, and you recognize as a receiver in Matthew Golden's shoes, you recognize the will backer fired. If he fired, then you know you've got this backer on an island. So what you should do is maybe take that slurl an extra 2 or 3 yards inward to really stretch that linebacker horizontally. Now, the backer's instincts, which is what we're talking about here, he's got to identify what's the top priority. Okay, I know the wheel's firing, or do you? Mm-hmm. If you're a backer that in your mind, when the ball snapped, your mind can't focus on multiple things like knowing the wheel's firing, therefore they're going to really try to bend me out right here. If you don't know that, then you might find yourself really biting on the slurl and the flat is wide ass open, right? Because you had, curl flat responsibilities, not necessarily hook curl. It could be hook curl to flat because you know the wheel's firing. If you've got that type of stuff happening, a good instinctive backer would know this is a loss for us. They ran a quick read concept when we blitz. If the quarterback gets the ball out of his hands, we're screwed either way. Let me play this safe, get an extra 1.5 yards of depth so I can make a tackle on the flat. I can run down the slurl, and I can even maybe help with the dig behind me as well. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. So if you don't have those instincts as a backer, this 4.46 doesn't mean anything. I'm not saying Sonny Styles doesn't have instinct. His tape says the opposite. This dude is a dominant force, right, from Ohio State. But that's just an example of how the instincts sometimes can overshadow, the physical attributes, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely.
All right, let's move on to 10-yard split. So what did Sonny Styles do in the 10-yard split? He had the fastest 10-yard split as well. What's that mean? His 40 time, guys, was just dominant all the way across the board. He was quick out of the gate. It was just a smooth, steady 40-yard dash, right? He's just as quick out of the gate as he is with top-end speed. Nnamdi Abiazor at 1.56 tied Sonny Styles there with the 10-yard split. So if we go back to the 40-yard dash, where did Nnamdi end up? A little bit lower on the board, right? 4.53. So that shows you that Nnamdi out of TCU is quick twitch, right? Also, Anthony Hill Jr., 1.58, Kyle Lewis 1.58, Caleb Elarms or 1.59, Carson Sherrar 1.59. Jake Golday ran kind of a bad 40, but you see here he's got that quick twitch out of the gate right at a 1.60, not horrible. along with Jacob Rodriguez as well. So when you look at those, the way I look at the 40-yard dash and that 10-yard split, Emilio, if you've got a guy that's kind of ranked about where they are, 4, 5, 7 for Jacob Rodriguez, and he's third from the bottom, and then you go to the 10-yard split, and it's a 1.60, he's about fourth from the bottom. That shows you that pretty consistent 40-yard dash. Now the question is, what do you put more priority in? The 40-yard dash in general and where they rank, or would you put the 10-yard split more important? For me, the 10-yard split for me.
For you? Okay, I was going to say for backers, for me, I think I would just care a little bit more about the 40 just because I'm looking for the sideline to sideline a little bit more.
Okay.
But the 10-yard split, I feel like, is edge rusher, O lineman, D lineman. I feel like that's the key right there because that's my worry. Like we have Isaiah McDuffie. I love McDuffie, but he's not a sideline to sideline backer. You know,
Right.
You see him get his hips turned. You see him try to cover vertical routes. It's not exactly there. He's gotten 100 times better at it, but that's where some of the struggles are. And a backer, I feel like you got somebody next to Coop who's got that spring, got that speed. We're going to need somebody else that has a little bit of speed. I don't think you could, side pocket a slower backer with Cooper and then it'd be as effective as we had with Quay. That would, it would be cool though. I mean, I like the 10-yard split. Definitely. It's good, information to have for a backer. I would put a little bit more on the 40 for specifically stack backers though.
Gotcha. So we definitely disagree with there, and that's absolutely awesome. Like I think of Quay's 40-yard dash, he can cover the seam vertically, right? We've seen it. That's great. That's a great tool to have, right? That's if you want to run a lot of Tampa too. If you're playing a lot of shell, how often are you going to want your backer to be a fifth deep defender covering deep, right? So I kind of key in on it. Obviously, it's scheme related is going to help make the decision for you, but for me, it's about that quick twitch and obviously football IQ of start, stop, shoot, get into position to make the play, especially against the run and anything underneath, as opposed to, like if I need my linebacker to go sideline to sideline, something else in the defense is failing miserably, right? Like if I'm expecting this backer to run 45 yards diagonally across the field to make a tackle, somebody didn't do their part over there. Mm-hmm. However, if it's a man-heavy defense, what you're saying is spot freaking on, I believe, because that guy's got to be able to do that, right?
And it brings me back to Cooper having, 20-some stops or something? Like that's where he ran more than 20 yards on a play to make that stop happen. And then it always brings me back to Greg Cosell when he says the speed of your defense comes from the interior of your linebackers. That's where the speed of your defense absolutely shows. So I guess that's where my hang up is on it.
Gotcha. Look at the vertical jump on Sonny Styles, 43.5 inches.
DJ's like, hold on. I think Sonny's still coming down from his vertical there. I was cracking up, dude. Did you see the tapes of him playing basketball in high school?
Bro, just floating to the rim.
I've seen you do that. Yeah, I've seen you dunk like that.
Absolutely, man. We lower that goal to about 6 foot. We're good, man. I'm doing windmills and everything.
Come on now.
So Sonny Styles is just a freak, man. 43.5 inches. His explosion grade is going to be through the roof, I'm sure. Vertical jump for Jacob Rodriguez, 38.5 inches, way down the list there. Obviously, Anthony Hill Jr., not a good explosion grade. And again, the question is, with explosion, why is that important? I love explosion grades in the trenches. I want those guys that's got strong legs to fire off the ball, right? It's not as important for me for a linebacker to have a vertical jump. Like it just isn't. I want instincts. I want quick twitch. Mm-hmm. I want leadership mentality. I want someone who's tough, who can stay on the field, stay available, stay accountable, that type of guy. But Anthony Hill Jr. definitely didn't help himself there. So that's the big one that sticks out to me. Jake Golday did pretty good, though. 39-inch vert, not bad, right? Yep. Toward the top of the list. Kyle Lewis, 39.5. But again, Sonny Styles, this Caleb Elarms, or where's he on our board? Do you have any idea? I'd love to know where he's at because we keep seeing his name a lot out of TCU. Caleb Elarms, or his vertical jump is 40 inches. His 10-yard split was 159. That was tied for fourth best.
Yep.
Yeah, tied for fourth best.
We have him at 244.
He helped himself, bro. What's bringing him down? Like what is the consensus big board and PFF say about Caleb Elarms or?
Yeah, his 23 grade wasn't great. It was a 592. That doesn't affect him though on the board. 24 with a 146, that'll help him. 25 with 41. The biggest thing hurting him, I think, is a PFF big board at a 372. Consensus had him at a 180, and then he averages out about 184.8. So it's really just the PFF big board that's really hurting him. And when I was going back through on some of them last night, even some of the consensus is on some, like for Proctor, our D lineman, we had him in at 207 or 220 or something like that. He's like 107 on consensus board now. So he's, 100 spots higher. And then it's like, okay, one dude from Wisconsin, I think we had him for, he was like 600 on our board, and consensus had him at like 210 now.
See, it's so frustrating. It is, because I don't want to lose that aspect of our board, but it's so hard to keep them put. Like Caleb Elarms-Orr, he's currently sitting in a 210 spot on the PFF big board. What did you say he was before?
He was 372.
See, so I feel like we probably need to split that difference, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. That's what I meant to text you that last night. Like, dude, should I start splitting some of these if they're getting out of hand?
Mm-hmm. It's crazy, man. I hate doing it, but I think it is necessary. Let's move him to 291 PFF.
Got it. 291. That would bring him down to 164, which would put him, let's see here. That would put him at the 208 spot.
Got it. And, he's a guy, too, that's ascending coming into the league, right? 59.4, 75.7, then at 84.4. He's getting better every single year. Good size, 6'2", 230. And to have that kind of 40 time and everything in between, yeah, Caleb Elarms-Orr definitely helped himself. There's no two ways about it. Now, when you go to like the 3-cone is another one I wanted to look at here. Jacob Rodriguez crushed the 3-cone. So what's that?
Anything under 7, dude, that's freak right there.
Yeah, so Jacob Rodriguez is 6'9". So what's that tell you? Quick twitch, ability to change direction, I guess you could say, without slowing down. That's huge for a linebacker, right? Mm-hmm. Start, stop, shoot. Oh, crap, he bounced it. Let's get out of here and go make the play. Jacob Rodriguez looked good there. So that's definitely his superpower. Sonny Styles dropped all the way down to a 7.09. Not horrible, but he's like 6. I don't think it's going to hurt him. Don't get me wrong. But it just shows you that Jacob Rodriguez, at least for that drill, was more fluid than Sonny Styles. So really, really interesting there.
And just another thing of like center of gravity. How low are you getting on the base? Like, did you watch the hoop drills where they got to run? Yeah. You got to run the top of the hoop, grab the towel, drop it off at the second hoop, then pick up the other towel. And you see some of the dudes that are like 6'6" running that, but with crazy 35-inch wingspan. They don't even have to bend over, right? They just grab it. But for Rodriguez there, he probably had to squat, get underneath it a little bit, make sure you're not too far over your toes and everything. So it's cool to see them go through those drills as well.
Yeah, definitely. All right, going on to the 20-yard shuttle. Jacob Rodriguez tied for first there at 4.19 with Jack Kelly from BYU. Sonny Styles at a 4.26, not bad. Jake Golday, not bad at a 4.34. So again, that's what you're seeing with Jacob Rodriguez is someone who's obviously a lot better at change in direction as opposed to just top end speed, right?
Yeah.
And you can kind of see that with instincts as well. It's probably a combination of football IQ and his ability to change directions fluidly that allows him to make those plays where he had like 15 forced turnovers or something through college. It was something crazy like that. Crazy.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't need to have top speed if you, like you said, have that processing power, have that mental ability to kind of read out a play, make the guesses, make the assumptions, all that.
Absolutely. All right, so there you go. There's a look at the stack backer position so far along in the combine process. If you guys are watching this video back later, let us know in the comments. How do you feel about the stack backers? Who would you like to see the Packers take? Are you hoping Jacob Rodriguez is there at 52? Would you rather maybe try to get Caleb Elarms-Orr, who's obviously tearing it up at the combine a little bit later in the draft? Hit us up in the comments. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, click the bell icon as well. All right, Emilio, I've seen something in the chat here that's interesting. We might want to go somewhat breaking news here. Read this for me. I'm going to comb through Twitter, see if I can find what was said here.
Oh boy. Number one Packer fan said, I almost broke a rule and went on a Green Bay player on X last night. Said K9 made a post after the NFLPA grades were released. Said, I felt like he is the last person who needs to say anything about grades.
Hey, I'm eager to see what he said. Let me see if I can find him here. All right, bang, there he is. Just combing through. This is great podcasting here. I don't see anything. Did he delete it? He may have deleted it.
And said he just said if there's no change, there is no growth. I'm like, seriously, bro, stop it.
Oh no, did he really? I don't see. Now he might have replied to it, and it's not showing up. What's that?
Yes, could have been. He also said their number one Packer fan, the only player who needs to change, in my opinion, would be Keyshawn. So,
Gotcha. Yeah, so I'm not seeing a direct. I kind of took that because of the grades, right? K9 made a post after the NFL grade was because that grade he's talking about is obviously they were grading the Packers being low facilities and all that stuff, right? Whatever whatever it is in general. Yeah, so I don't see that as a reply. It's just a tweet he put out that said there is no growth without change. And I agree it's a little silly because he's the one who said, "Man, I hit all my goals. I'm we're good." Like a little bit, right?
Yeah, I'm not returning kicks anymore. Okay.
Yeah, so unless I'm reading it wrong, there, number one Packer fan, I don't think he was saying that in response to the Packers' grades, right? I think it was just a generalized tweet, if that makes sense. So.
J. Cole says either way, cut him. Nixon's acting like Deion Sanders or something.
Yeah, listen, you guys know how I try to roll here. I try to keep things positive. I try not to go after players and this and that. I don't want to pretend like I don't know. It's all cringy. It all is. But there's nothing that aggravates me more than watching a cornerback make a tackle after an offense picks up the first down for 4 yards on a slant, and the cornerback jumps up like he did something special. And it's like, bro, you tackled the guy after he caught the ball. Like, okay, cool. Like, and listen, you want to be excited. Don't get me wrong. You want guys to be excited, and when they make a play, when their teammates make a play. But some of this stuff has just gotten so far out of hand. I miss the old days, man. Here's Papal Bailey again. I miss the old days when Barry Sanders would literally make every defender miss twice, take it 65 yards for a touchdown, and then just hand the ball to the rep, go to the sideline. There's nothing – as an opponent, when you see that, it's what are we going to do? This guy, like, not only did he make us look stupid, but he did it in a fashion where it's like not even a big deal to him.
Yep.
You know, we're in for a long day. That's essentially what it makes you feel like, right?
That's exactly it.
Yeah. But again, I'm kind of old school there. That, yeah. Okay. So number one Packer fan says, yeah, that's my point. And it came out very close to the release of the grades. It's probably me just not liking him. I got you, buddy. Got you. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't something else I missed there. Right. Like, that was a direct response to. So yeah. We'll see how it goes. But all right, let's move along to the RAS cards, man. We've got some already coming out. I want to give a shout out to Math Bomb. Obviously, this is a great tool every single year. You can go over to RAS, just type in RAS in the search bar. You'll get access to his website. What we did was went through and pulled some of the top RASs so far. I'm excited to dive into this, Emilio. What position is there a player that stood out to you before we get into the actual grades? Maybe somebody that you're expecting based off of all the numbers you put in, he's going to have a great RAS. Does anybody kind of come to mind for you, Early?
Malachi Lawrence had a freak day out of UCF. Besides that, I'm not 100% sure. I'm kind of excited to see them all break down because I was just throwing in measurables and their 40s. So I'm kind of excited to see what else they have here.
I'm expecting Sonny Styles to be at the top of the list, right?
Yeah.
Toward the top. Caleb Proctor, I was eager to see going into this process, like, is he going to land in the nines? I know he's got an 8 in the bag, but is he going to hit the nines, right? So let's hit it, man. Let's see what we got here. So, again, this is just sorted by RAS. There it is at the top of the list. Might be a little bit hard for y'all to read. I apologize for that. I think I can zoom in a little bit more. That's it. Sonny Styles, linebacker at Ohio State, 9.99. I think they said in the history of the game, he is I think he's 4th all time in the history of RAS, and it goes all the way back to like 1983 or something like that. Mm-hmm. So Sonny Styles, man, 9.99 is just unbelievable. Devontae Capehart, defensive tackle out of Clemson, 9.97. So he helped himself a lot. Where do we have him on our board, man? Devontae Capehart. Is that somebody that might make sense for the Packers at a specific pick here, probably outside of 52, I would imagine?
Absolutely, yeah. We have him at 229. When at the East-West Shrine game, 6'5", 313, 33 and 7/8 arms, 4.85. Yeah, that's not bad. Sitting at 174 average with Tankathon having him at 168.
So where did PFF Big Board have him when we
PFF Big Board had him at 165. Consensus had him 134. What's dragging him down a little bit was his 24 grade of 274, which I don't think is taken into consideration, but his 25 grade was 242. So he's fighting his grade last year versus where they had him ranked a little bit higher.
Got it. He's 110 on PFF now. I think we should leave it. Let's just leave that alone, I think.
110. That's crazy. See, that's what I'm saying, man.
I'm telling you, in the draft, the buzz and the combine and this and that, it starts shifting around. And again, I know there's people going, well, shouldn't you change it? If we're going to change it in real time, we should just wait till the week of the draft and do this and say, okay, our board's going to look like everyone else's, you know? Like, and that's the whole point is, and it's another reason why when you look at our board, like how were we able to have Ozzie Trapillo significantly higher than Anthony Belton, right? There was some late round buzz around Anthony Belton closing in. We didn't buy into all that. Ozzie Trapillo was significantly higher, right? Same thing with Luther Burden. Luther Burden looked dominant on the football field. I remember people saying he's just a football player. He's a scrappy footballer. He plays the game right. He's, whatever. Matthew Golden, why did he skyrocket at the end? He ran the fastest 40 time, right? And that's not to say, again, I think Matthew Golden's going to be a great football player, but we had Luther Burden higher than Matthew Golden. And it's because we chose we're not going to touch the board. We're going to let it followers. And lo and behold, who graded out better according to PFF their rookie year? Ozzie Trapillo and Luther Burden over Matthew Golden and Anthony Belton. So again, I think it plays more into, yes, these guys may have higher upside if you adjust the board late because you're getting all this combine height. You're getting all that. This same thing's going to happen again, Emilio, after pro days.
Yeah.
There's going to be guys shuffling around and jumping up and down and this and that. I love the fact that ours is rooted in what did they do on the football field in college football, So, yeah. So we'll keep our eye on that. But yeah, Capehart obviously a little bit lower on our board. That might be a late round guy that Goody be interested in. Obviously, a 997 is absolutely insane. Mm-hmm. Anthony Hill Jr., linebacker, 993 out of Texas. So that's a solid RAS.
Yep, he was 61 on our board.
61. There you go. So that might be. Could that be in play at 52? Would you be okay with
with a 4.51, 40, 32 and 3/8 arms? That's
How tall is he, Emilio? Do you know?
6'2", 238.
There you go.
I think Goody would be all over that, to be honest with you.
I can see that too. Now, will he last that long, right? That's the big question. Danny Dennis Sutton, defensive end out of Penn State, 993. So is he an edge defender? Am I thinking right?
We have him as edge. That is correct. 77th on the board, 6'6", 256, 33.5 inch with 4.63 as his 40-yard dash. That's really not bad. Tankathon had him 80. Dane Brugler had him 68. DJ did not have him in the top 50. So
there you go. All right. Next is your boy Malachi Lawrence, edge defender out of Central Florida, 990. Where's that edge defender at? Malachi Lawrence on our board. He's helped himself a lot, man. A lot.
Yes, he has. Let me see here. Whoops.
Malachi Lawrence, Central Florida, 990 RAS.
I'm spelling his name wrong.
I always get him wrong, dude.
Yeah, we had him at 111. Malachi Lawrence, edge out of use. He was just the way he ran was just freaky. He had side to side agility, speed up and down. He's 6'4", 253, 33 and 5/8 inch arms with a 4.52 40. Yeah, he's a freak, dude. PFF had him 148, consensus 110. Tank had him 105, and Dane had him 93rd. So I could see him going in the third round, no problem.
I could too, man. If he's there at 120.
And he made himself some money. I mean, everyone was talking about him yesterday. Like a guy that you show up and give those kind of numbers, you're already that size. You could make yourself some bank there.
Definitely. Caleb Banks, defensive tackle out of Florida, 987 for Caleb Banks. There was a couple of things, if I remember correctly, that drug him down a little bit, but that RAS is through the freaking roof. Caleb Banks, we've got him listed as our 23rd best prospect, I believe.
Yep. Yeah, he's the second D tackle behind Caden McDonald out of Ohio State, but Banks has 6'6", 327, 35-inch arms. I mean, unbelievable.
Why was I thinking there was something that was bringing him down, Emilio? I don't know why.
He did not. He got hurt in 25. We don't have a grade for him.
That's what it is. So just a little bit like, okay, well, I mean, obviously you go out there and you put up these kind of numbers at the combine, you're healthy, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
we'll be good there, I'm sure. And again, if we get to the end of the process and we feel like, okay, injuries are still a problem here, like unfortunately, Red Murdoch, he didn't run, right?
Yeah, nope, he did not run. Poor guy.
We probably need to light him up red on his name just to kind of identify, like, hey, be wary here, right? Everything looks great, but the injury might be a little more significant than we thought. I hate that he missed that, man. That sucks for me.
Tell me about it.
Jack Kelly, linebacker out of BYU, 981. David Gusta out of Kentucky, defensive tackle, 9.75. We talked about him being a little bit lower on our board, I believe. Jake Golday, linebacker out of Cincinnati, 9.73. Caleb Elarms or 9.71 out of TCU. We like those TCU boys too. LaSavion, teammate, I assume there. David Bailey, one of the top prospects, did exactly what he needed to do, Emilio. 9.68 RAS. David Bailey was already our second or third.
He's our top.
Is he our top prospect now?
Yes, sir. Yep. Yeah, he's number one prospect, 6'4", 251, 33 3/4 with a 4.5. I mean, Dude is a freak.
I'll just go ahead and
likes him. He's already got a -3 on there. Once his RAS hits, he'll be negative.
Yeah, so he's going to end up being like a -3 or something, right around a -3. So yeah, there you go. Ruben Bain not running is going to hurt him on our board a little bit.
I think they were saying he's going to run at his pro day probably, but again, like we talked about yesterday, you get the guys with a little late trigger finger and a little early trigger finger on those 40s.
Yeah, and we'll keep that lit up pink if they chose not to perform at the combine. Like we got to hit our boy, my guy Kristen Miller with it, right? If I remember correctly,
yeah,
he didn't do it. Did he do any? He didn't do any drills, did he?
No, but he weighed in 6'4", 321, 33-inch arms.
Okay. I'm still going to light him up pink in that box, though, just so we know. Any information we get is the pro day. I need to run those down. I got to get on that today if I get time. So, all right, next on the list, who do we got here? Jake Golday, 9.73, right? That's solid. Jake Golday, another stack backer that might be on the Packers' radar. Where's Golday at when it comes to Packers? Because I think I've got him, last I checked, we had him in the 48 spot on our board. Is that still correct, or is that shifted a little bit?
You're correct, 48 on the board. Out of Cincinnati, 6'4.5", 239.
Fred Warner top height there, right?
Did you see that Fred could potentially break Ray Lewis's tackle record? I guess Fred's over 2,000 tackles, and Ray is like 2,070 or something like that. So Fred could break it this year, though Ray Lewis has like 1,500 solos, but Fred is in the 2,000 club.
Fred's got to be a Hall of Famer, right?
Oh,
yeah, and he doesn't have a ring, does he? So like that's kind of the only. If he had a ring, slam dunk, don't even think twice about it. But yeah, when you look at Fred Warner, it's hard to talk about the linebacker position in the last 20 years and not mention Fred Warner, right?
Absolutely.
It's near impossible. So, yeah, he's probably in. All right, moving along. We talked to Caleb Elarms, or we talked David Bailey, right? Let's go down to the next wave here in the 9.5, Carson Sherrar. Where is that stack backer? Because, I'm going to be honest, man, I have not heard his name at all this draft season. We might need to do a little bit adjusting there. Carson Sherrar out of Iowa, 9.54 is the official RAS. Where do we have him on?
The K. Sorry, I was going to say. I was like, I cannot find our boy. Carson is 4.13 on our board. 6'1", 231, 31 and an eighth with a 4.56. All we have is a consensus big board on him with a 3.08.
Okay, we got a PFF big board too. You ready to pop it in there? 366.
Well, that doesn't help him.
No, it doesn't. And do we have a 167 as his PFF grade in 25?
I do not, but I do now.
All right, so we'll see how that.
That'll help him. That brings him up to 280-ish. So he'll be late 300s.
That's somebody to keep an eye on. Maybe late in the draft or an undrafted free agent out of Iowa, right? Because the size is decent. 6'2", 235 is what they got. What did he measure at?
6'1", 231.
Okay, so a little bit shorter. Maybe not so much. So. We'll keep our eye on him. So obviously, like he had a great combine there so far. Mason Reiger is very interesting, Emilio. Obviously, edge defender dominated in the All-Star game. He 3 sacks in that one game. He looked so fluid in the bag drills and stuff yesterday. Like he looked like a stud. Mason Reiger, where is he on our board? Because he got a 9.53 RAS as it sits right now.
225 on our board. Okay. Packers met with him, obviously, East-West Shrine game. I want to say this was one of the consensuses where I think we had him 329. I could have swore he was like 200 something now on consensus. I'd have to look it up again, but 6'5", 251, 32 and 5/8 inch arms with a 4.78. That's a Packers guy. Though we don't have a 24 grade for him. I don't know what happened there. But in 23, he was 89th best. 25, he was 64th best.
He played 0 snaps in 2024. So I go ahead and light that up red probably. But
Okay.
what's his PFF ranking?
PFF Big Board had him 244.
All right, he's at 271 now. He's dropped on their board. So we're going to keep that 241 in. Okay.
Yep. I like it.
So, I mean, there's a chance maybe Mason Reiger will be a late pick for the Packers, right?
Mhm.
It is. So that's exciting. Next, you've got Jacob Rodriguez, 952, Jimmy Ralder, 949, TJ Parker, 933, Grayson Halton, 923. Let's look at Jacob Rodriguez. Well, actually, we've already talked about Jacob Rodriguez. We got him around the 65 spot, somewhere in that range. So we kind of know what to expect there. He may be there at 52. Are you willing to spend the 52nd pick on him? That's the big question. Grayson Halton's the one I want to key in on here out of Oklahoma. He had a 923. What do we think about Grayson Halton? Where's he at on our board?
Our boy Grayson Halton, 135, 6'3", 293, 31 1/8 inch arms, 4'8", the only thing really bringing him down is the PFF Big Board of a 231. He was 120th in 24, 17th in 25, and consensus had him 141.
Okay. And you said 231 is what they had
That's
him at?
what PFF had him at. Yep.
I can't even find him now. Where the heck's this guy at? He is a D tackle, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Grayson. There. That's why he's all the way up to 70 now. So
See,
he said, "See, it's tough, right? Because
it is, man. All that.
Why did y'all have him so low originally? What did y'all see on tape that your graders said 84.7, damn near elite PFF grade, but we're going to put him in the 230 spot? Like what?
You said, was he 70 now?
70 now. So and what was he before? 231.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if we go 231 plus 70, right about 2, 150.5 would be the middle ground. Should we do it? What do you think?
Sure.
I feel so grimy doing this.
I know. I'll put a yellow on it. Any of those that we're trying to adjust, we've been hitting with that yellow box, the yellow fill, just to know that we had adjusted those grades. But that would bring them up to a 108. That would bring them right around the 117 spot.
Gotcha. So might be in play for 120 there.
I think if Goody likes him, according to the binoculars, I think you can take him third round, no problem. I can almost see him take a second round, be honest with you.
And J. Cole with our daily reminder. I will remind y'all again, Uber drivers.
You're right.
There you go. Sponsor the show, Uber.
Come on.
All right, so Grayson Halton's one to keep an eye on. Zane Durant, man, he had a great day. 920, right? Had a scorching 40-yard dash, if I remember correctly. Where do we got Zane Durant, defensive tackle out of Penn State?
We have him 262. He had a 4.75 40. He was moving.
Now, this is a tough one, right? PFF Big Board has him at 233 currently. What do we have him now?
Used to have him at 199.
So he's actually dropped since then. So this is probably going to now push him back up with the RAS, right? But he's a guy
who's not going to be able to climb as much as others, though, because of that 25 grade, putting him at 568.
Yeah. I mean, and he got worse every year. 108, 279, 569. And I know the program got worse too. Penn State went completely in the dumps, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what was his arm length?
31 7/8.
Yeah, I hate to say it, Zane. I know you ran fast, but Bub, I don't think many teams are going to take it. Maybe late in the draft, right? Because of the athleticism, but there's a lot left to be desired there. Moving on to Caleb Proctor, my boy Caleb Proctor. Caleb Proctor finished with a 913. This just feels like a Goody pick to me. Smaller school, crazy athletic profile. Caleb Proctor is now in the 171 spot on PFF's Big Board. Where did we have him before?
Our boy Caleb Proctor was 189 before.
Okay, so we'll leave it at 189. He's gotten better every year, right? He was 475, 84, and then jump all the way to 8th highest graded defensive lineman. It's just the small school stuff. Where's he at on our board now? Caleb
137.
Right there in that 120 range again. Right? We might end up taking a defensive tackle around 120. You know, that could happen.
I think he's probably taken a peek at both him and Halton. And I think he would be happy probably with either of them, even though, we got the one, the small school guy out of Proctor, but I think he would be excited for either of those.
Yeah, definitely. What's his reach again, Caleb Proctor's?
33 inches.
Yeah, that checks, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, going to be interesting.
91. He ran a 4.7. I mean, I think you could get Goody to be behind that for sure.
Definitely. And rounding out the nines here, you've got Nnamdi. How do you say that last name? Abiazor, is that right?
Yep, crushed it.
Out of Texas Christian, 912 for him. I'm curious to know where he's at on our board. Just type in OBIA and it should pop up. OBIA. Where's he at on our big board? Because that's another stat factor that might come into play.
390, 6'3", 229, 30 and 3/4 inch arms, ran a 4.5. PFF big board is what's crushing him, 421.
He's actually down to 439 now, so we'll leave that alone. Yeah, that's pretty wild. To me, he looks like he could be one of those guys, like a special teams player, potential backup, 72, 71, 71, just steady Eddie, 6'3", 230 is what they had him at. I'm not sure what it actually weighed in at, but had to have been decent for a 912. And then the last one is Kyle Lewis, linebacker out of Pittsburgh. That's a guy that if I remember correctly, he flashed during the All-Star games. If you could take a look at him for me, Kyle Lewis, where does he sit on our board? And I'll cross-check it here with PFF real quick. Kyle Lewis, and it's Louis. He's very interesting. 6'1",
129 on our board.
Okay, he's 129 on our board, so that's that 120 range we're talking about. Where did PFF have him?
The PFF had him 181. 6 foot, 220, 331 and a quarter inch with a 4.53.
And now he is 94th on PFF's big board.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a significant difference, is it? What do you think? Do we leave it alone? Do we adjust it? What do you think there, man? Again, where do we have in PFF?
181.
181. So 181 plus 94. That would put him at 137.5. I'm okay with leaving him. I'm okay with adjusting. I'm going to let you make this call. You've done a lot of work on this, man.
I feel like he's already got a -5 for the Senior Bowl. Dane's already got him ranked. I think we hold off on that one. I was going to ask you about Proctor, though. I feel like if it's over 100 points, that might be the cutoff. You know what I mean? If it's like, okay, because like Caleb Proctor right now it's close, but on the consensus big board, he was 209. Now he's 108. You know what I mean? So maybe you get him dropping to like 151 or something like that. Or, you flip that difference and then just mark it, sort of thing.
So if they've moved 100 spots, that's going to be the qualifier to say, okay, we need to meet in the middle.
I feel like we got to find, because we could do this. We could do it every day. We could do it all day long. Every person on the board. I feel like 100's a fair. If you make 100 jump either up or down. I mean, we're not gonna add it to make it worse. But if you make 100 jump up or something, then we could split the difference for you.
I love that. I think that's a great plan. Let's do that. So that's how as we go forward, if we identify them, we'll adjust them as we go. So that way we still get that effect in our board of, immediately following the college football season. So
all right.
There you go, guys. There's a look. What's that?
I said I'll just Proctor for us then.
Okay, got it. And there you go. There's a look at the top RAS performers, everybody who performed over 9 at the Combine so far. If you guys are watching this video back later, let us know in the comments, how do you feel about that list? Do you like those that we were kind of earmarking for the 120 spot, the 52 spot, the 84 spot? How do you feel about those guys we mentioned? Make sure you hit like for us, hit subscribe, click the bell icon. We greatly appreciate it. All right, Amelia, I think we could cut it off there unless you want to keep going. What I'd like to do, and I don't know if you're available, we'll see. I know the Combine is going to get kicked off again about 3:30 Eastern time today.
Okay.
I thought, why don't we go live about, 30 to 40 minutes after they start? That way we can get some of the new numbers rolling in like we did yesterday. Are you free to do that or no?
Yeah, like probably about 4 o'clock. I should be good to go. Got a couple yards to check on, but then I should be all right.
All right, so that's what we're going to do then, gang. We're going to reconvene here at about 3 p.m. Central Time and do like a live watch party with the Combine as the numbers roll in. We'll hit them. Today is an exciting time, really, because when you look at the schedule, what we're going to have is the bench press for the big boys. The defensive linemen and the linebackers are going to be doing the bench press, okay? Mm-hmm. I know Tim's going to be watching the bench press for Kyle Smack, right? The kicker. Is that his name, Kyle? I think?
It is.
So – and then also today, everything that you've seen the defensive line and the linebackers do yesterday, you're actually going to see the DBs and the tight ends do today. So that's an exciting time. That's a couple positions of need for the Packers, right? So we will be bringing you that information live on the show and kind of cutting some segments there as well. And they'll be doing their measurements and their on-field workouts. So obviously we're going to be looking at some of the threshold stuff. Again, I'm going to try to pull that article up and have it ready off to the side so we can reference it on what the Packers are looking for in cornerbacks, things like that. And we'll start to get our threshold stuff put together as well. Packer Report does a great job every year of talking about the perfect fits for the Packers. I like to use theirs and throw the heart eye emoji in there because it's kind of an outside source pulling the info rather than us just combing through and trying to find everything. So that's a great draft guide too, Packer Report. If you guys get a chance, Jacob Morley does an excellent job over there. So yeah, make sure you check that out.
And for the Patreon group, I'm going to put in a different link for the draft board just so that you guys have the height, weight column always open. On ours, I'll be closing it on and off just as we're going through the board and stuff. So I want you to be able to cross-reference all those. So I'll put up a new link in there today so that you have that I got edge, linebacker, and D-line in last night for their height, weight, everybody that weighed in at the draft.
And I actually posted an updated link today in there. Okay. So if you get another one, just fire it in there. Cool. The more we send that in there, the better,
Perfect.
And also the other thing to mention what's going on today too is you're going to have the media interviews and team interviews with the running backs, quarterbacks, and wideouts. So we should get more information trickling in of the Packers meeting with specific players. We got several scouting reports we want to hit. We're going to wait until the combine slows down, then we'll dive into the scouting reports for the players that the Packers have met with. But like on tap, we're going to highlight Brian Parker, Darrell Jackson, Mason Reiger, Harold Perkins, Caleb Proctor, who have all met with the Packers, obviously. So I'm trying to do some prospect reports on those so you get a better understanding of, okay, why are the Packers specifically looking at these guys? And then, of course, when the top 30 visits start hitting a little later in this process, that's when we'll dive into the high school background completely and everything and kind of get the complete makeup of each individual prospect. So
it's going to be number one Packer fan was asking, what was Lee's 100 bench press? Just curious. That's happening today, right?
That is happening today. And I'm looking at it too, number one Packer fan, like something's got to help our boy there. I don't know if I still got it pulled up. I don't think I do. I don't have RAS pulled up, but last I checked, he was in the threes, I think, RAS. So again, though, when you look at what he did, he dominated at I think it was a Senior Bowl, I believe. He dominated there. There's a lot to like there. It's just how far will that athletic grading drag him down the board? That's the big question. So, all right, guys, we're out of here. Appreciate y'all making us a part of your morning. We will be back 3 p.m. Central for a live watch party, and we're going to dive into all of the combine information in real time as it drops. So you guys make sure you hit like, hit subscribe, click the bell icon so you have access, or so you get notified every time that we do go live for these live streams. We may have the rest of the guys in here too. We may have Tim in here. We may have Jacob in here as well. So just hop in here, crack open a daddy soda. Probably a little early for a daddy soda at that point, but it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Get in here. Let's talk some ball. All right.
You know what I mean?
And I want to give a special thanks and shout out to everybody that's listening on podcast form. Thank you all so much for supporting. We've obviously launched that as an overflow from PackerNet. So any extra content will be going over there as well. So just make sure you search wherever you get your podcast, search for Packers Total Access or Packer Fan Total Access. You will see the icon pop up. Wherever you get your podcast, iTunes, Spotify, wherever. So we greatly appreciate everybody doing that for us as well. Emilio, appreciate your time, man. Have a good day. Go out there and crush those estimates.
Come on,
we'll be back at 3 p.m. Central. Appreciate everybody tuning in. My name's Clayton. That's Emilio. This is PTA. That's Matt LaFleur, the winky face. Go Pack, go.
Here we go. We're out.
Bye, guys.